Well, good morning and welcome to another Soaring Eagle video. This video is going to be a little bit different. We're needing to get a little bit of a locker storage area. I was looked at a 10 by 10 steel container to do that, but by the time we purchase it and have it delivered, the price is getting right up there. So I thought, well, I've built a house before and built some different things, so I can probably manage to build a 10 by 10 shed. So let's see how much that would cost and follow along and see if we can get this thing erected and start storing some of our equipment and saving some monthly money that we're paying for a storage locker right now. So let's go over to Home Depot and see what it would cost for material. Welcome to Home Depot. Let's go in there and check out the pricing on some material, see what it's going to cost us for our little utility shed. I think this is going to be my plans right there, 10 by 10 garden shed. How's that look? And I'm possibly thinking of using this smart panel for the outside instead of putting plywood on it, so we're looking at $64.88 per sheet, using that instead of skirting it with plywood and then putting metal on the outside. Here we are for roofing material, 36 inches by 8 feet, tough rib, black, $40.97. I think we'll probably go with the silver over the black and the green, keep it a little bit cooler in the summertime when the sun's shining on it. And then we've got the ridge cap up top there, so there we go for our roofing material. Now let's just figure out what we're going to do with the floor. And then after we've got it all studded up, I'm planning on putting some this insulation in between the studs. We've got, I think it's an R5 value on this. See if it says it on here somewhere. So they're $20 each. Probably need about a half a dozen of these panels and stuff. Put the shed on a 2x6 floor base. So here we are, 2x6, 10 foot, $11.97 each. So we'll figure out, see how many we need of those. And for framing the walls, we're going to use these 2x4 by 92 inches. At $4.28 a piece, $3.85 if I need 100 or more. So we'll figure out, see if we need 100 of these studs, and that will be our framing. Lost our audio there, so just do a little voiceover. Instead of using the plain 2x6 spruce, we went with the treated 2x8 and 2x10 lumber instead. Still hadn't realized that my mic clip had fallen off, but this is the area where we're going to build a little shed. And I already have the 4 blocks there that we'll dig down into the dirt a little bit, and that'll be our support base that we'll put the 2x6 treated lumber onto. And from there, the floor will go on top of that. And hey, welcome. Here we are on day 2 on this little shed build. I came out here and brought some of my tools along. Hopefully I've got enough here to get the basement level, get the footing part done. Yesterday I came and dropped off some of the 2x6s and beams to do the floor part, do the floor joists. So let's see if we can get this leveled off here. It's going to be an 8 by 10 structure with a door in the front here. And we'll see if we can get this built in the next 2-3 weeks here, but follow us along. And what I'm going to do right now is just square this all up. I'm going to beef it up by putting some of these braces on the floor joist, just in case you ever want to move the shed. It'll less likely come apart if it's screwed together than just nailed together. So I have my Tim Hortons coffee to go here. The sun's shining today. It was kind of raining in the clouds there in the mountains over there. You see it kind of coming down. Still a lot of snow-capped mountains up top there. It's just a beautiful sight to see. Right beside this old storage bus here that this gentleman has one that he's completely restored. I've never seen it, but I've heard about it. So let's get busy on this project here, see if we can get this fired up and running here. So by today's end, I'm hoping to have at least the floor frame done with the floor joists attached, and then the next portion, what I'll do is I'll bring some plywood out and do the flooring part with the plywood base, and then we'll start with the wall structure, do the ceiling, or not the ceiling actually, it'll just have a gable roof. But we'll do this piece by piece. I'll just bring out the material as I need it. So I'm going to use those 4 concrete blocks on the corners to secure it in the ground, and then attach it all, level it off with those 10-foot 4x4 posts there. So let's get right at it. All right, the first part of foundation, getting the underlay down squared off, is always good to mark it corner to corner. So I've done that already here. So if I just straighten that back out there, we're sitting at 12 foot 10 inches corner to corner here, and I measured off the other one as well. So let's just quickly do that one here. Make sure that it's still plumb with a little bit of movement there. Get that hooked around the corner there, run it over. Yeah, let's see what we've got over here. Yeah, so perfect. Oop, there we go. So we're sitting 12 foot 10 to this corner, and now things will move a little bit, and I'll dig it out and put the concrete blocks in the corner there. So we're squared off. We're 3 feet off the fence line there. Gives some room to walk back there to do some trimming, etc. So this is where the structure will stand. It's not that it's not movable, but hopefully won't have to in the near future. And let's get on with the project. Okay, what I did here is I put in the first corner, put the concrete down as the lowest point of the little shed, but I didn't want to dig it down too far, which meant I'd have to dig those blocks down even deeper. So I left it elevated a little bit, and I'll just do a little bit of backfeed to fill the gravel spot underneath there so rodents can't crawl underneath there. But that will be the corner post over there, and it's the start of the foundation. So what you want to do is get it all level, get it all squared off. So I've done the first corner post, and I'm going to work on that one over there, move over to that corner, and then lastly on the fourth corner over here. So let's see if we can get this done today. Corner 1 over to corner 2, level as can be, as level as the shed needs to be anyway. Look at that. Wow, I don't think a real genuine carpenter could do much better. But if you have some comments for me in the comments section, go ahead. So I got the two leading, the corner post and the lead secondary post, now the third one, and then off to the final one. Then we can put our subfloor on, a subfloor joists, I guess you call them, and hangers. And if I'm using the wrong terminology, I'm sure there'll be somebody making mention of that. Go ahead and leave it in the chat area. So got a little bit of light rain here, but we'll continue on, get this thing leveled off, and see if maybe we can even get some floor joists up today, because I wanted to get onto the plywood on the third day. All right, fast forward here a little bit. We've got the 4 corner concrete posts in, got it leveled off, squared it off corner to corner here, and you can put a square in the corner here right now, and you'll see that for some reason I keep losing my mic audio here, but just doing another check here corner to corner, making sure it's squared off. Keep just from the little bumps and movements on the floor frame. So just making some more quick adjustments here, make sure it's framed off. But we have the 4 pieces attached there now that'll create the subfloor. Now we just need to put in the joists and hangers after that. So what I'm doing here is I'm just adding 3 corner, or actually 4 corner brackets on all 4 corners there, just a securing bracket to hold the whole project together a little bit better. And I'll do the same thing with the floor joist. And instead of just screwing the ends, I'll put hangers on it, and then also with these corner posts. And that'll also help in the future if, because we're just renting this location here, if we need to move the shed, it'll hold it all together a little bit better when you go and lift it up with a forklift or something, some kind of a lifting device. It'll hold the whole project together instead of it coming apart at the seams later. So all this extra little bracketing will just beef it up and make it all the more secure. And I've done this with all 4 corners now. This is the last one. I'm going to do the same thing with all the floor joists as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to lag these, I'm going to screw these floor joists on from the fascia here with some 3.5 inch screws, but then also screw in the holding brackets there just to get them all nice and secure there. So we'll just get this one going here. Well, hello there. Here we are, day number 2 Back at the site, what we're going to do today is put some insulation and flooring on our framework here. At first I thought I was going to be a little bit out of sorts because in the diagram that I had there was 12 inches point to point here and then 16-inch centers, which made it a little bit awkward to put 4x8 sheets of plywood on there. So what I plan on doing is just cutting. I've got 3 sheets of plywood, and instead of having 24 inches on the end over here, I'll end up with what is it, 32 inches or so. I'm just going to take the sheet of plywood and go from over there and up to this stud here. So let's just have a look here with our measurement. Let's see what we've got to do here. Come on, stay hooked up over there. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll just go off the end there and cut the plywood to 92 inches, and then coming back, we're going to have just a little shy of 3 feet here, so 28 inches coming back. So that'll give me 2 pieces to cut, and I won't have any go to waste. I ended up purchasing 3 sheets of plywood. They suggested 4, but I'm not sure why. I think it was a bit of miscalculation on the blueprint. So I've got 3 here, and it should cover the full floor plan. But what we're going to do is I'm just going to put some lattice work inside here, like that, staple it on at about 2 inches down. And then I've got some insulation over there, and it's 2 inches thick, 1.5 inches or so. So it's an R5 value. Yeah, so almost 1 3/4. And so by putting these lattice work on here, I won't have to staple or glue the insulation in. It'll just rest on those little strips of wood there. Just place them on top before we nail and glue the... actually, I'm going to screw the plywood down. And I've also have some bonding fastener to hold it down. So that's the project today. Get that floor on there, get the insulation in first. Let's get on with the build. So I'll show you what I'm doing here with the lattice work that I'm pinning in there, where the insulation is going to go down. I did 1 row there already. And so what I do is these slats are 8 feet long, so it's just a little bit long. Need to trim them off a little bit just to fit inside. Doesn't have to be exact or precise, because the insulation is just going to rest on it. And then what I do is I just pin this 1 strip in here with 2 pins just to hold it in place. Let's just get that in there. Get 1 pin in there. One at this end over here. And then that'll give us our spacing for the insulation, the 1.5 inches or 1 3/4. And then my joints don't bend down that far, like you young guys. So anyway, and then I just take this strip and pin it in place, and that strip is where the insulation is going to rest on, so it doesn't fall out onto the ground, and I don't have to crawl underneath and try and strap it up. But it's just a way of holding the solid sheets of foam insulation in place. And just going to do this with all the joists, and then just peel off that spacer. Where are you? There we go, one there. And one there. And so that'll give us our spacing to drop our insulation in. And so I won't bore you with all the rest of them. I'll show you once they're all done. So I've got that one done there, and then that row, and the insulation will just rest on that. So that's my invention here for this, to get those insulation panels resting on there before we put the plywood on. All right, for an old guy bending over and working below my kneecaps here. My back's a little bit sore, but I got all those little straps put in place here. Didn't take too long, but I can definitely feel it on my back. You young people that bend over all the time and work in construction and all that kind of stuff, give you a lot of credit, but once you hit my age and stuff, that bending over takes a little bit more work, but we've got it done. And we're gonna drop in some insulation there now and get on with the plywood decking. All right, a couple hours later here, we're moving right along with the project. We've got all those straps put in there that where the insulation is gonna rest on. So I'm just in the process of cutting that. I measured the first piece there, and it's at 9 3/4 inches. And it does help if you have one of these big squares to cut alongside. Make a nice straight line cut. Just do 4 feet from one end and another 4 feet from the other end, and we'll get the full 8 feet in there. So let's see how this works. Like we dropped over there. So let's just have a look and see if we can get the first one installed at the end there. Gonna do that for number one. Move right along to number two. Let's just go have a look, see what we did here. Okay, so you saw how we put those ladders working. So this will just rest right on those little strips there, 1.5 inch strips. I keep calling it lattice because it's small, but that will keep our floor from getting moist from underneath, and a little bit insulation on both sides. Here, 14. Make sure we got that 14. Oh yeah, so there we did that 14. It's that 14 and a half. Let's just check that again. 14 and a half. Don't want to be wasting any here. Yeah, 14 and a half. So let's do the same thing we did on the last one here. Here's this big square. Measure it right there. That works. Let's just pull it off here a little bit. Here we go. Get it cut. There we go. And let's just go on the end here and see how that fits in here. I think it's almost perfect. I like it. I really like it. Wow. That's just awesome. Good idea, Abraham. Well, it's just wise in all the things that you do. Oops, don't push too hard in the center there. Don't fall through on it. Don't want to be breaking it already. But there we go. So now you know the rules to the game here, and we'll just continue on. You don't need to see me cut and installing the rest of them. So let's just go have a look what we did there. So we popped 2 of them in right there, nice and snug. Keep the floor warm, moisture out. So let's get the rest of them done, and then get on with the plywood, see if we can still get that done today. So I just want to show you just how simple this is with those strips in there. You don't have to crawl underneath a shed or something like that trying to strap it from the bottom. The styrofoam just rests right on the strips there, nice and snug. It's an 8-foot piece, and we'll just lay it right down the track here, and voila, tap it down into place, snug it right up again. There we are. We've got 3/4 of it insulated already, nice and snug, and keep the floor from moisture, and again give it a little bit of warmth in the wintertime. Put a heater in there and keep things just above freezing. So just 3 more strips to do, and then we'll get on with the plywood. I just got that plywood resting on there right now because I'm using it for a cutting board, but I'll won't bore you with the next 3, and we'll see the next step when we put the plywood down. So what we're doing here is we're using a PL construction glue to glue the plywood to the floor joists. Now this is a slow acting glue. It takes about 24 hours or so, 18 to 24 hours to cure. I've used another glue before that's extremely fast acting, and the moment that you put the plywood down it's really difficult to move, so you want to make sure you get a glue that's going to give you the opportunity to move the plywood around and get it straightened out before it sets, because like I said, I've glued some styrofoam in. I think I lost audio on the last video there, portion of the video, but what we'll do is we'll get set up here, get this portion done here again, and see what we can salvage. So what I'm going to do is just screw down this plywood. I've marked off the lines where the studs are down below, and going to put some screws in about every 8 inches or so. Not measured the 8 inches exactly, but 6, 7, 8 inches, and we'll floor build on this video as well, and then we'll do the 4 walls on video too. Hopefully you'll come along and see how we make out there. Learning as I'm going here. I'm no professional, so don't take any advice or ideas from me, but just have a look and see. Hey guys, guess what? With all your help, we nailed it. Got the floor insulated, got the plywood on, last screw on. Starting to cloud over a little bit. We're going to put a plastic, some vinyl down over top of this, keep it from getting wet. And in our next video, we're going to be starting on the walls, the 4 walls. Meet you at the 4 corners. Probably do the 2 side walls and then the back wall. And I'm going to do the front wall last, trying to figure out what size door we're going to put in there. So thanks a lot for following along. Thanks for helping me out today here, getting all these hundreds of little deck screws in with my sore back and all. But we got her done. Thanks for watching.